Hey everyone, I'm Bishop Trevor, and this is a discipleship moment. And today we're going to talk about the summer. The summer is coming. The summer is coming. And we are excited because with the summer comes so many wonderful times to celebrate Christ and to build relationships. And I just want us to think through, and no doubt you and your teams have already been gathering. Actually, you've probably been working on it for several months by now. But I want us to just think about it. You can think about it for 2026, or let this begin to get some new ideas for 2027. So think about the summer. We have Mother's Day that's quickly approaching. Father's Day, we have Memorial Day, you have VBS, and think about all these wonderful opportunities to celebrate. So the question is, how are we going to make sure these days, these holidays that are used by the church to connect to community? If we're going to make disciples, we are constantly using the four-chair model, and chair one represents the lost, those who do not know the Lord. So when we're thinking about making disciples, we're first thinking about, Lord, how do we connect to people who are far from you? And the calendar is such an easy way of thinking, helping us think through, what are people thinking about today? Mother's Day, it doesn't matter who you are. Everyone has a mother, right? Well, how do we help them celebrate their mother? Or let's think about not merely the mothers in the church. Think about the mothers in your community. Are there any mothers whose children have moved away? And do you want to gather the church together to convey value to those mothers? Do you want to help mothers who have young children and perhaps no help? And you want to say, maybe you choose a day every month, every week in May to give support to a young mother who doesn't have help. So instead of thinking about merely the mothers within the congregation, or thinking about how do we get those mothers to come to our services, let's think about how our church, our members, our families can go to the mothers in the community and give value. You may even want to go to the schools and ask them, tell me, are there any you want to go to the social worker in schools, or you want to deal with social workers who may be in your congregation, and they may help you connect with local families of single moms, or moms who are struggling, or dads, single dads, or mothers and fathers who are having a difficult time. How do we connect to them? How do we show value to them? So as opposed to telling them to come to church, why don't you just bring the church to them and give them a day of value, a day where you just communicate to them in their neighborhood, in their home, on their timeline, how important they are to God and how important their role is in our community, in our society. So that is something that you want to think about. Memorial Day, right? The end of May. And oh, that's a great weekend to go and have fun, to get away. But Memorial Day is an important day in the life of America. It is a day different from Veterans Day. Veterans, we celebrate all those who have served in armed forces. Memorial Day, we honor those who did not come back. We honor the families who lost loved ones. We honor those soldiers who gave their life for our freedoms. But looking at this through the lens of disciple making, how do we connect to families in our community who have been touched by war, who have been impacted by loss? It could be the children who've lost a parent who served overseas. It could be a spouse. And so leading up to or after Memorial Day, how can the church find these families and let them know we're praying for you. Maybe we do a fundraiser for them. Maybe we raise some funds and send them on a weekend away, a family time. We as a church want to bring value to people who are important to God. And you say, why do we have to do this? Think about the first miracle of Jesus turning water into wine. Jesus went to a wedding where people didn't even know who he was, and he blessed them in that wedding, even though it seems as if that miracle didn't even bring glory to his mission. Very few people at that wedding even knew the miracle took place, but Jesus did it to bring value to that family, to reveal his glory and love. And so consider that. Let's move on. We have VBS and we have summer camp. I want to tell you this. Let's start thinking out of the box of VBS. Isn't VBS great? It's a week, 3-4 days sometimes of gathering kids together in creative formats to communicate God's love. Have you thought of taking VBS and expanding it to maybe a 5-week day camp? Connect to your schools, connect to the families. Maybe you do an affinity camp, a sports camp, a camp around hobbies, an academic camp, and you include in that camp time to teach about Jesus. And guess what? This camp, this day camp, can actually connect to our Camp Sunshine, because we can make the elementary or the middle school or the high school camps our sleepaway camp. So the students can go to our weekly VBS or day camps, and then when their age group comes, they can go away for Camp Sunshine. We want to begin to think out of the box. How can we as a church bring value to people during the summer when they are thinking about having fun, they are thinking about being released? And so let's get our evangelistic and outreach mindset expanded so that we can make disciples even during the summer. And lastly, think about a break. You've been going from September to June. Let it be said that there is Sabbath in our families. And so don't overlook also times of rest for our activities. Maybe we take a break for 3 weeks just to give families time together. And don't just give them the time off. Maybe you give them some suggestions of things to do away, just so that we're showing them that their time away matters to God. And at the same time, no matter where you are, there can be time for the family to sing of the Lord together or look at a passage together. I'm Bishop Trevor, and this is a Discipleship Moment.